Welcome, everyone. Good to see everyone. Hopefully it's not raining where you are and there's no tornadoes or any significant weather and the sun is shining. I was happy to hear there's no rain here today. So if you want to say hello, put your name and organization in the chat. We would appreciate it. We're going to really focus today on resources and the 2025 administration. Where are we? What are some hurdles maybe at the end that we can pull up a whiteboard, and Phyllis is going to talk about how we can overcome some hurdles or if there are any barriers that we're seeing across the Commonwealth. And Katie is going to talk from Bach Harrison. She's going to let us know where we're at and what your schools should be seeing. Welcome, everyone.
Are you good for me to start sharing my screen, Elise, or do you want to wait?
Yeah, just a minute. Yep, I'll throw it to
Okay,
you.
okay, perfect. Okay,
Yep,
perfect.
we're good.
I didn't
Yep.
know if that was you throwing
No,
it,
we're
but yeah,
fine.
okay.
Katie's new, so we're good. Yep, we'll just let everybody kind of filter in here. And again, just the usual housekeeping, as we know, tips for this webinar. Make sure you introduce yourself, interact with presenters in the polls. We don't have any polls today, but we are going to have the interactive whiteboard at the end. So hopefully you can all be interactive and let us know, like we are here to hear it. And we want to know what's happening, what you're seeing, and where we're at. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate, put it in the Q&A, or if you want to just put it in the chat with question at the beginning, we will make sure that we monitor that closely. There'll be a couple of us monitoring that, so we'll be good to go. As usual, there's the QR code for EPIS and Penn State that you can like on Facebook. Feel free to engage, comment, give us a heart. They're free, they're easy. Get us moving along, and hopefully then you'll see a little bit more maybe in your feed, or maybe something that is beneficial to you, you can share with people in your community. First Wednesday webinar, there we all are. We don't have Lee today. Lee is on vacation this week. And Mary is actually not going to be Mary. It's going to be Katie. So Katie will introduce herself when she starts sharing her screen. And she is going to talk about recruitment, what's happening with Bach Harrison, who, as most of you should know, is our survey administrator. And they do everything. The heavy lifting comes from Bach Harrison, making sure the surveys are ready. There goes to the school districts, tracking everything that's happening, making the reports. Everything is there. So they really are the nuts and bolts that keep this project going. So instead, Katie, the special guest is going to be Katie, not Mary Johnson. So Katie, if you want to go ahead and share your screen, I'll stop sharing, and you can introduce yourself to everyone and we can go from there. You're muted.
Thank you.
That's how it goes. That's right. We're good.
I know, seriously. Okay, I'm Katie. As Elise mentioned, Mary is not joining us today, but I have started taking over some of the project management on our Bach Harrison side. So I will be providing the update today. So as some of you may have seen, in April, we did send out our first district recruitment email. So that should have included your unique registration link, any information that can be found on the PAYS website. We sent out a fact sheet and some timeline details. So that was sent out in mid-April. We do have some people registering, but we know that sometimes there are issues with firewalls and privacy settings, so we are persistent in sending out nudges. So we did send out another recruitment nudge on the 5th, so just this past Monday. Again, with some recruitment information, we also sent out an Airtable link so that each individual district can track their own registration. We continue to kind of do this as we enter into May. So continuing active recruitment, communicating, answering any questions that superintendents and survey coordinators have. We're always offering support to districts. So whether that be switching from paper surveying to online surveying, we'll continue to provide resources and support in making those types of changes. And then we're always communicating with people, Elise, Phyllis, on the other side, just to make sure that everyone is aware of what's going on. They have all of the details, resources, information that we provide at Bach Harrison. And this will kind of continue through June. As most of you know, there is our actual survey administration begins in the fall. So we'll just continue sending resources and providing support throughout the summer. Elise and Phyllis also created a webinar for non-public schools that'll happen on the 26th of June. This will be a great resource for any non-public school folks that you may know who are just looking for additional information about PAYS and our new PAYS Junior survey. This will be a really great resource. You can reach out to myself or Elise for information, and any registration materials that were sent out to non-public schools should have access to this registration link as well for the webinar. As of this morning, our recruitment is up to 158 districts and charters. This is actually more than we saw this time last year, so we're doing great for recruitment. If anyone knows of any communications that haven't gone through to districts, we do have all of those links on our side, so I'm happy to provide as much support as needed to make sure that this number continues climbing up. This is across 50 counties, which is great. We also have 51 districts and charters who have signed up, but we have yet to have any non-public schools sign up. Again, this is a newer type of nudge. So if you know anyone who wants additional materials or information or has questions about PAYS, feel free to send them my way. We do have 7 districts who have still chosen paper or hybrid surveying. All of the rest of the districts who have signed up are all opting in for online. And just a reminder that if any districts change their mind, if they need to update registration, you can always access that registration link that was sent out and change any information that you have. We do. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I just want to make a comment about the paper hybrid.
Yeah.
So, just one thing for everybody to keep in mind, that we did some outreach for those. We had about 40 districts last time in 23 or 23, do paper, pencil, or hybrid. We did some outreach, and we really, we're stressing to them, and just as a reminder for everyone, that we are striving to go to 100% online. We will not be in 2027. We will not be offering paper pencils. So if you have a district, one of your districts who has signed up, we are going to be reaching out to them to, work with them, see if what's causing them to do paper, what can we do to help them, and really try to move in that direction. The outreach that we did after 2023 about the paper pencil, overwhelmingly more than half who did reply to us, they were like, oh yeah, we can do it that way. We've just always done it paper pencil. So we don't think it's going to be that hard of a lift, but just we're going to say to y'all, if one of your districts in which you have contacts with, if there's something that and I know there will be some outreach to them about maybe let's switch to online, explore what we can do. What are you going to need? Because the reality is, starting, I believe, next in 26, there will be all testing for PDE will be done online. So PDE is working with the districts to address some of the connection and technology and those kinds of things. So just want to sort of put that out there to know that we're working on that, and we're excited to see where it goes. So thank you, Katie.
Yeah, thanks, Phyllis. Yeah, we just shared out in our last nudge an Airtable view that I believe Elise has dropped or will be dropping in the chat. This is a great way for you to access any information about your district's recruitment and kind of opt into 2025 PAYS or PAYS Junior. It is a filterable Airtable link. So when you enter the Airtable, you can see the districts are automatically and the LEAs are automatically alphabetized, but you can sort any of the columns however works best for your district, and that doesn't impact anything on the backside. So these are completely customizable links. We have districts that'll kind of keep them up throughout the entire recruitment phase just to make sure that everyone is kind of on the same page. All the information is included that you need to be included. And especially if you ever make any updates, like Phyllis mentioned, if you do switch from paper hybrid to online, you'll be able to see those changes in real time. So we do have access to that Airtable link for anyone who wants to track their participation in recruitment. And then if you did receive an email from me this past Monday, I included that we do have a new project coordinator working with our team. Her name is Emma Ainsley. She comes with great experience in this type of administration and coordination. She has her MBA. She has her bachelor's in public health. So she's just a great resource to utilize. We kind of make up the core team at Bach Harrison. We do have a support email that is always accessible as well, but feel free to reach out to Emma or myself, and we will provide all support that we can. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing so I can see if there's questions in the chat, but if anyone has any questions, please let me know.
We look good. Look, Catherine asked if the registration was sent to superintendent. So yes, and Katie can speak to this, but Catherine, you're not the only person. I think there was a couple emails this morning. I know Erie School District had sent that they have a very strong firewall and that they did not receive either the initial email or the nudge that just went out this week. So it would have come from Katie. Katie, do you want to put your email in the chat so
yeah,
they know where it came from? So it actually came from katie@bachharrison.com, and it had the links and the language. A couple individuals thought maybe it was spam. They were just checking, so it's definitely, if you did not get it, any of us, like you can email Katie or myself or the PACE support, and we will make sure we get you that link. One of the differences too, I think, and what we're going to do is kind of just spend this time talking about some of the differences, some of the changes, things that you will be able to know. Like, for example, in prior administrations, the PCCD website had a link that you could register with a quote unquote generic link. It wasn't a specific link for your district. That is no longer the case. And the reason why we did that was because there was a little bit of a lag there. We had staff that had to go in and manually then enter all of that information. So on the PCCD website, you could go, but you need to send just an email to PACE support at Bach Harrison, which is listed on the website as of this morning. And we're updating it now, but it was listed as of this morning. And they will be able to reach out to you specifically with your district's link. And that way it'll make it a little easier for everybody to see the information, have the information in real time, so you know that it is done. And like Katie said, don't hesitate to go into this Airtable, and you can sort it however you want. You can look at how many schools have said yes. You can track your own information, but it'll say when the superintendent signed, what the date was, and if they're doing the PAYS or the PAYS Junior, or both. So that is definitely there and accessible for you. Also, just touching on, and we will continue to touch on this as we move forward, but I'm going to share a few things that are important to see. This isn't something that we shared out. It was just something that's a PDF that has some highlights. And I think most of you, if you're in this webinar, you probably received an email from me earlier in the week that had a lot of links with the Airtable, with the PCCD website, the timeline, a couple other resources. And I'll continue to send those so you have the information and you can reach out to me directly with any questions, or any time that you want to pick up the phone and give me a call. I will be able and available to walk through any issues that you're having. But one of the big things is the PAYS Junior is open statewide across every county, every school district. And we're calling it PAYS Junior. And that way it's differentiated enough that hopefully schools, parents, community members know that it is not the same as the PAYS, which is a big deal. We don't want it to be thought of as the PACE, because there are a lot of questions that aren't appropriate for fourth graders on the traditional PACE. So the PACE Junior is out and available. It'll be open for all schools, online only. The questions will be read out loud. The surveys change from the pilot. So if your school district participated in the pilot fourth grade in the past administrations, it has changed a lot. And I know that our feedback for the fourth grade survey was very mixed. It was a mixed bag, and it was new, and we weren't ready for everything, but we did get a mixed bag, and some school districts didn't have a successful implementation of fourth grade. Some did, but this is a different layout. We have 20, does it say in there how many questions there are? I think there's 35. Is it 35, Phyllis? Anyway, that's 35 or 42. Martha, how many are in the fourth grade?
I have to look it up. I'm sorry.
No, that's
I'll
okay.
look it up and put it in the chat.
I think we ended up with 42.
42. I was just gonna say I
don't
have
know why
two
that-
numbers in my head, 35 and 42.
But
Anyway.
Martha, keep looking because I might be
Yeah,
wrong.
to confirm that. So anyway, and there are the content areas listed: parent, family, individual, protective factors, school and safety, media, and screen time. And they're very straightforward. We have the same answer selections for all of them, and hopefully we gather some information for our early prevention efforts. The 6 to 12 survey changes, and we've touched base on this a little bit also: social media screen time and the Zen. And there's a list, so if you would like that information, and you can read it yourself, I don't need to read it to you, but we've looked at a few of those things. The reason why you were bullied was removed. Over-the-counter drug was removed. The rest of them have been edited or combined to hopefully. Our plan was to combine questions so we could add the social media questions, because we hear you and we know what everybody wants. And as you all know, the time is an issue, right? We do this every 2 years, and it takes a lot of time to make sure that we're making sure that we are scientifically sound and that we're valid and reliable. And this takes a minute. So we hear you, and we try to move as quickly as we can to make sure that we have the information that we want in the communities, in the schools. But things move quick, things move fast. Names of things, different drugs, all of those things. So those are the questions that were removed and edited. And registration form and these things are, we already discussed those. Katie discussed those. How you can help: recruitment, communicate, check in with your schools, check the pay support. There's my, where I am. And then offer schools help with administration if any of them needs them. And we are available for that too. Like, I'm right here and I can go wherever if we need additional support to administer the pays, in the classroom, whatever needs to be done. Please reach out, because I think that we know there's a lot of turnover. We have, superintendents, teachers, the survey coordinators. It's a wheel that keeps flowing, keeps going around and round, and we're here to help support that, because sometimes you lose a superintendent and the survey coordinator, and the pays can sometimes go to the wayside. So we're here to help support that. And again, we always want to know if you have any questions. So
And I just want to, sorry, Elise.
Go ahead. No, you're good.
Lynn, you raised your hand? Did you have a question? Do you want to unmute and ask? Maybe she didn't mean to. Well, all I was going to say, guys, is that, back in the day when we started building up to over 400, school districts, having the vast majority, we were all in the field pushing pays, recruiting for pays, and getting in a space where we were, working with districts who didn't even know what pays stood for at that point. And I think through the years, we've gotten almost spoiled, because so many of the districts already do it. But Elise really laid out there's a lot of realities with districts now. And this is why I can't encourage y'all enough to, download and bookmark this Airtable and get in there anytime you're having a meeting with somebody, or even better, if you've been trying to meet with somebody, this is a great reason, if you will, to get in a room to say, I'd like to talk to you. Add this to the things, the value that we are that PACE brings to them, and really getting in the space to help us from that grassroots space to help us get everyone on board. Obviously, we want to get more than our, what was it, 412 last year, or last administration. And, and again, it's not just about the number that do it. It's about those who find the value and they keep doing it. But things happen. So again, I cannot stress enough we cannot thank you enough, first of all, of helping get these districts on board. Thank you, Katie. I see in the chat, someone had asked how many PACE Junior have signed up. And so we've got, of the 158, we got about 54. So about a third are doing it. I think with the 4th grade survey, that is another really good reason to talk to your districts about the value that it brings. You have the relationships with them. You are the one, they know you. They're going to listen to you. We also recognize the fact that, this is a new thing, and there's a lot of new things happening right now. But again, just going in and letting them know this, it's easy to do. It's not a hard thing, but what we get out of it is invaluable. So again, Elise, this whole team here, we are here to answer questions. We're here to help in any way that you need. If you maybe have a meeting with somebody and you're not sure what to say, give us a shout. We're going to be here to help you, and I know it's funny. I think back because I've been doing this now for 15 years. And so I've had quite a few administrations I've been working through. And I just was thinking this morning about how there was like so many people that on a daily basis just would call and go, I need to meet with the superintendent. I don't know what to say. Okay, let's unpack that. Let's do it. So again, know that you have a lot of support here. There is no question that's a bad question for us. There's no, we're all in this together, because I'll also say, if you ask us the question, we're helping somebody else too, because if you're not understanding it, that helps us get better to help others. So I really want to stress that and really, encourage you to use this time to do outreach.
And Lynn, I see that Katie did respond to you. So she says that there will be survey coordinator training for people who are administering the PACE. But if you're not a survey coordinator and you want to support, no, there's no special training. You're more than welcome to be involved in that. And really, I'm sure at any time, Katie, Mary, any of the Buck Harrison staff would be able to give you a crash course if you wanted to help with the support of the survey coordinator. And again, the survey coordinators, Katie, Phyllis, you can probably talk to that a little bit more about who are the survey coordinators, because I think sometimes it's varied, right? There are a lot of people I know, and I only speak from my county. Like I'm in Clearfield County. So Clearfield Jefferson always had, which we just recently lost, but we always had the SCA that they were the survey coordinator for all 7 districts across the 2-county area. And that was her job, that she did all of this. She made sure when it was scheduled, she was there. She helped administer it. Some of them are still paper pencil. She gathers the paper. She does all of that. And that's her role. So that's easy. But a lot of schools don't have that. You don't have an SCA that either has the capacity to do that or knows what to do with that. So again, it's just resources. It's just making sure that we're there. And we are in a time where the data is important to know where we're going. And I think everybody knows from our COVID, and there are so many changes in the past 5 years that we really want this information. So anything that anybody can do is helpful.
And Elise, you bring up a really good point, because, and I will say, there's 412 ways of doing 412 different things when it comes to the project or the PACE coordinators. It is really, like you gave a really great example of outside SCA come in, make it happen, help it work. But I think the key also too is really understanding with PACE coordination, while there is one point of contact, that coordination means a lot. Your school district doing online, the tech folks may need to be involved. Probably they will, right? You may need to have that coordinator is there to make sure all the bells and all the I's are crossed and T's are dotted and everything's done and it's all turned in and all the things are happening. But that coordinator is also there to help encourage, your the students to take it seriously, coach the teachers who are administering, really working in a space that it's a team effort is, I guess, really the message I'm trying to send here. While you have one point of contact, I mean, it takes a village. And for those districts who really have embraced PACE and really work in the space, I assure you, they will say it is about, getting everybody on board with this. I think part of the coordinator's role as well is, is also promoting within staff. A lot of building principals don't have a clue what this is. They're brand new. They've never done it. They don't, so I would say, reach out to that coordinator, offer some help, to get them to think about building their PACE team. And it's not something that's so formal, everybody's like, oh, team equals another meeting, right? But the reality is that it is about, really engaging those folks to help make it work. Promote it, educate when we need to, and really working in that space. So sorry, Elise, I didn't quite answer your question, but it's this idea of coordination looks very, very different, and it's more it's a more broad level of responsibility than, oh, I'm just coordinating the day of survey, right? The day of administration.
Right.
There's a lot more there. So, and everybody can always use help, and y'all know we're all about team. So.
Yeah. And the next thing I wanted to do was I want to share with you the PACE Proctor video that is going to be shared with all the students. This is what we landed on. We had a script. It was the same thing that was done last year, but this one is a little more higher level, and there'll be a few things. But I just wanted to share with everybody so you could see what the students will see. So even if you aren't directly involved, just so you know that this is what's going out. We have one for the PACE Junior coming also that obviously is much shorter, but I think it's important just to be able to see that so you know what the students are seeing. Let me share. And if you guys can let me know, make sure you let me know if you can hear this, because I know how that goes.
Hi, I'm here to tell you about the Pennsylvania Youth Survey, or the PACE. The PACE asks questions about many topics, from mental health and how much sleep you get to bullying and tobacco, alcohol and drug use.
The information you're about to provide is very important to our state. State organizations have been partnering for over 30 years to bring the survey to students just like you.
The PACE is your chance to tell policymakers, state and community leaders, school administrators, and many others about your experiences and challenges and what types of things young people in your community need to be healthy and do well in both school and life.
Thanks for choosing to take this survey and for taking it seriously. And tell your parents thanks too. They had to give permission for you to take the survey today. Your experiences and opinions really do make a difference in the lives of others.
Your privacy is very important. Your answers are confidential, which means no one will know how you answer. The survey won't ask for your name, and there's no way any of the information can be linked back to you. Really, no one will know how you answered. This is not a test, and you won't be graded on anything. The most important thing is to answer honestly based on your experiences.
You might be wondering how your answers can help other people. Results from past surveys have been used to help people understand the types of challenges we face so they can figure out ways to help.
Schools, adults, and organizations in your community need information from surveys like this so they can better understand how to best serve you and your classmates. So let's get started.
The survey takes about 30 to 45 minutes to finish. Once you start the survey, you need to finish it or get as far as you can. It's okay not to finish it if you run out of time, but make sure you aren't doing anything else while you take it. Remember, this is your opportunity for your voice to be heard.
You can skip any questions you do not want to answer or do not understand. If you don't want to take this survey, quietly sit at your desk until the other students are finished.
Make sure no one else can see your survey and that your answers are private. Your teacher won't be walking around the room and won't look at your responses. Your teacher or the person giving the survey cannot explain what a question means. If you are not sure of what a question means, or if you do not want to answer it, just leave the question blank.
When you are taking the survey online, click the answer you want to choose for each question. To change your answer, just click on the one you want to use instead. Use the next and back buttons at the bottom of the screen to move through the survey questions. Only use the buttons at the bottom of the page. Do not use the back or forward browser buttons on the web page. It will kick you out of the survey if you use the web page browser buttons.
If you are completing a paper survey, answer the questions by marking one of the answer bubbles like in the example on the second page of your survey booklet. Your answers will be read by a computer, so fill in the bubble completely using a number 2 pencil. If you want to change an answer, erase the old answer completely. When completing the survey, write the number listed on the board on the front page of your booklet.
I want you to know that no one assumes you're doing something just because they ask questions about it. And it doesn't mean anyone thinks it's okay to do something either, just because they asked about it. They just want to know about your experiences. Some of the questions will have a choice to say you don't do that behavior.
Please answer truthfully. Remember, your answers are confidential and can't be linked back to you in any way. You can skip any questions you do not want to answer or do not understand. Choose the answer you think best describes your experience. If none of them seem right, you can leave an answer blank or choose the one that is closest to your experience.
When you are done taking the survey, do not close the web browser until you get to the last page and click Done. Your answers will only be saved when you get to the last page. Thanks for participating.
If you should have any questions or concerns after taking this survey, please talk with your school counselor or another trusted adult. Thanks for your help with this important survey. The results will help us improve the health and wellness of all students in Pennsylvania.
There we go. Okay. So there we are. There's our Proctor video that all students should see, so they all get the same message prior to taking the PAYS. And just hopefully I answered the questions in the comment. Thank you, Catherine. We thought it was pretty well done, and we actually a lot of youth weighed in on that. So I think with the Snapchat ghost and the it's a little hopefully timely, but also evergreen. So we'll be able to use it from a couple administrations. That's the plan. A couple questions though I want to make sure that I address before we move on to even more questions. If your superintendent didn't get the email, just reach out. Like right now, I know that it's a superintendent. It's a desert. Everybody's changing. We have a million of them. They're coming, they're going, and it's the time of year where people are wrapping up if they are leaving their position. So I know I just have spoken with Katie. I have a few where the principal is going to be the contact at this point until a new superintendent is in place, and we can do that. We just need to be very specific and make sure that we pay attention to those specific schools. It's not something that is going to be across the board. So if you have a superintendent who hasn't gotten the email or is leaving and is maybe not going to be there in the fall to follow up with this information, see if you can find a contact person in the school district, such as the principal or the assistant superintendent, that will be able to be the consistent contact. We can change that email at any time and that contact person, but we need to make sure that what happens a lot is the superintendent's they're just going to ignore the email right now, right? They maybe got it, maybe they didn't. And the new superintendent will come in and we won't have that superintendent's email address. So your school then it'll be trying to catch up. So the more involved, if you can reach out to your schools and get that information to us, we can fix it. We can make sure that all of the contact information is correct and going to the right person. We just need to hear from somebody that that's what's happening. And I think the more, hopefully, like I said, I will email the first Wednesday webinar registrant list probably monthly at this point to kind of get information to you, get resources, and if you have any issues, let me know. And the video, whoever asked that, the video it's just approved, and we don't have the 4th grade yet. So as soon as it is approved and we're ready, I will make sure that everybody has access to that, and you should be able to to see, you can show it to people who will see the video. That way the kids know what they're doing. And I think it is very cohesive. It's not a person reading a script. It's a nice video that engages everyone that's involved. So that was our plan with that. And we're hoping that it works. We're hoping that it is something that everybody can see I was hoping to embed it into the survey. That's not going to happen. That's just something that can't happen. So we're going to be working closely with Buck Harrison to make sure that whether it be housed on YouTube or, a link that's accessible, something that isn't blocked by a firewall, which we know is sometimes an issue with some of the schools. So we're going to keep that in the front of our mind and make sure it's there. But I wanted to share it with everybody because I was happy. That was exciting. It was a nice video that I think was well done. So, and there we go. Can we change it since they're doing it online and paper? Yeah, any changes can be made at any time to where we're going. Fourth grade, if you didn't want to do it, you can change any time to go to yes, or you can go back to no if there's more information that's necessary. And I think that was all I had for my part. And I know Phyllis is going to pick it up here because she's going to be a fancy whiteboard woman and
Well, maybe.
and
Just say it.
and open that up so we can just have some ongoing discussions as to, what do you need? What specifically can we do? What are some challenges? What's happening? So I'm going to hand it off to Phyllis and mute myself.
Well, I will, what we're hoping to do today is really just sort of open up a place that, what kind of challenges are you seeing? Like, especially maybe around fourth grade, getting people to say yes. What do you think some of the hurdles might be that we need to be aware of as we're doing our outreach? And so what we're going to ask for those who are new to the whiteboard, if you go over and you can do a couple of different things. You can click on the three dots, you can get a sticky note, and you can put a sticky note and you can write your question or input on it. You hit enter or you click off of it. Enter will take you to the next line. You can play around on your sticky note, or if you just want to type directly in, you can type and type. Well, maybe I'm going to tell a story here. There we go. That you can type just directly on the board. So again, just kind of a new way for us to hear from you about, again, some challenges that we're seeing, some things that you may have seen. And let's y'all go ahead. Can everybody see the whiteboard? First of all, am I sharing it? Okay, want to make sure.
I'm muted. Yeah, there's 44 people in here. Feel free, put a post-it on,
we have the ability to move around and take a look at them, but we want to open this up for y'all to just again start throwing out some of the challenges that you may be hearing.
Some challenges, so something you like, maybe something that we've done well that you'd like to see more of. Anything like that you can give us some feedback, because really we do want to hear from you as to what's going on. Like, you're here, you're present, and we appreciate that. So please take a minute just to put a sticky note.
And yes, Pays does rock. Let's all wait. What is this? Is in this rock? Pays rock.
We'll give 3 minutes. It's 1:40. So somebody hopefully put a post-it on.
Oh, it's not working. Thank you, Dave. I can't see how to add to the whiteboard. So you should be able to, if you go to y'all can unclick here and tell us, are you seeing the ribbon to the left of the whiteboard? No. Okay. Thank you, Ron. So do you know why that would be? Anyone?
Just a minute. I'm going into my settings to make sure that it's.
I have access. So I don't know if it's maybe just to panelists right now, if there could be something with the settings. Because I was the one who accidentally just drew the line. So
no, lines are good. So let's. Elisa, are you looking at the setting?
I'm trying. Yeah, I don't know where to.
Oh, here we go. I found it.
You found the link to settings? Yeah, because you should have just as much power as me.
Okay, can y'all see it now?
Nope. Well, there
Oh,
we
goodness.
go.
Okay, well, thank you, Melissa. I think you said in there that it maybe the same options that are available for meetings and sort, because that's where I've used whiteboard before was in meetings and not in webinars. Well, A for effort, I guess. Here we go. We learn every day. So, but I'd like to at this point. Do have a few minutes. Please, thanks, Dave. I appreciate that that support. But would definitely, please unmute yourself or raise your hand. We'd love to kind of hear from you. And we're going to keep asking because we really do want to, learn from you because y'all are in the field, you're doing the work. So please unclick or unmute and let us hear from you.
And I'm going to continue to add a few links. Oh my gosh, our audio is off.
Oh God.
Oh wait, is this Ron? Oh, see, that was probably when we were trying to get you on the whiteboard. Look, Katie's laughing at us.
This is when I will speak for myself. This is when you have old people involved in technology. Just saying. So y'all all need to just say, old people step away from the tech. So
I think they can hear us. They just can't unmute.
Oh, they can't unmute. See, that's what happens. I thought I could unmute all. Jeff, don't you have the settings tool too? All of us here, the 6 of us, have the same tools. We should be able to find somewhere in our settings. Yes, you can use the Q&A, Andrea. You can use whatever you want. I know I thought I checked this before, just so you know, and so we could all chat. But obviously, that was it. I'm going to put a few links in our chat while my fellow co-hosts are trying to figure out how to get everybody unmuted. And I think this email that went out included these, and I know that we don't have time. Sometimes emails get lost. I know that happens. They get buried. So I'm going to send a few of the resources into the chat. The first one is the PLP that we have that we can always use for everyone. Act 48 credits, social work credits, 2 PAYS courses specifically that are available for you to be able to do what you'd like to do. So that is one of the resources. The second one was the PAYS Padlet, which that didn't come up as a link. But the PAYS Padlet is on the EPIS site, and it will give you some resources that are still very, very, very good to share with parents, and they are focused in that type of setting. It's for schools, for teachers, for community members, for parents. Feel free, there are videos for each population. I know that I've sent a few this probably within the last 2 weeks for board presentations, and they're there, they're accessible. You can, if you need to take your questions to the board, or if somebody has questions at the school, it talks about very, very basic. This is why we do the PAYS. This is what we get from it. This is what you would get from it. So that's an important thing to do. The PCCD website, I'm going to be honest with you, is a mess, and they will say that too. So I'm not speaking unkindly of them, but we have just started to add the 25 administration details. So yes, as of Monday, there was nothing on there for 2025. Now there is one drop down that has the 25 administration that's available. So feel free to give me feedback. If you have anything that's wrong, a report's wrong, a link is wrong, send it to me and I will make sure that it's there.
And Ron, as far at least I don't think you addressed, but Ron had asked about, can schools preview PAYS Junior? And yes, Ron, absolutely. There's a question dictionary, just like with PAYS Senior, that schools can take a look at the questions, look at the response options, and definitely review it from that, to get an idea of what the questions are and all.
Yep. Yeah, I just sent out a couple this morning that they signed up for 4th grade and they needed a copy of the questions for approval. So good to reach out. And the reason, and I know that we've probably talked about this before and you've all heard it, but it is very nuanced for us. We want to be very transparent, and the questions are absolutely available to anyone who wants to see them. The problem is there's a lot of nuance behind the questions, and it's me. I love to have the personal touch. If somebody asks for the questions, whether it be a parent or a school, I love to be able to have that conversation. We use skip logic, we use this, and kind of make sure that that is all understood instead of just, hey, here are the questions on the website, without that the information that goes on. The schools can share them also if they feel like they want to put them out there on the website, they can, but usually they still direct them to ask for them through me. And like I said, what I'm sending here in chat is you all should have gotten an email that has all of this information. So if you didn't, let me know. But yeah, audio is awful.
And I want to put a plug in too. I mean, Jordan, I know you're here and this is your path, but the PLP and the 2 courses that are there, they're not long, they're not big necessarily, but if someone really is wanting to understand what PAYS is, that 101 is a great place to send them. They can take a look at it while they're having their sandwich at lunch or whatever that, it's not big, it's not heavy. When you hear course, I think sometimes people are like, eek, that's a big, but it really is a great space for to share that link with your school board that maybe is new, or a new super, or a new teacher for that matter, really send out that letting folks know PAYS is coming. And, would be a really good resource, and maybe some just continued resources. I think that's one of the things that, we always internally talk about, golly, we keep talking about the same things, but the reality is we have to keep talking about the same things because people need to hear it more than once, right? And, just sort of, again, thanks, Jeff, for putting in the PAYS, the PAYS link there. I believe Elise had also included above the other one as well, but that PAYS 101, it's going to tell you what you need to know in a very pretty efficient way. Sorry, Jordan, anything you want to add there? I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
Oh, no, that's okay. Yeah, Elise already added the links to find the 2 courses. And I know that we call them courses, but they are really brief trainings. PAYS 101, we have it timed out as being 1.5 hours. So it might take you 1.5 hours to complete it. It might take you less. If you really want to, dive deeper into some of the information, it might take you a little longer, but the information's there for everybody to have access to. Please feel free to share it around to all of your contacts. Anybody that really doesn't even know what the PAYS is, has never heard of it, or someone who needs a refresher.
And there's Act 48 credits there. So, folks are getting towards the end of the school year. And, I know you have 5 years to get all those credits you need, but this is one way, like Jordan said, you can, ideally you're going to take the 1.5, and it's a true course, but, like she was saying, if you don't want to dive as deeply as you want more of a refresher, that kind of thing. But if you're looking for credit, it's a great way to do it.
All right, so there we go. We're about 10 to now. If we would have had our whiteboard, we would have been, pushing 2 o'clock. But here you go.
This is why. So, what is today's takeaway? Never have Phyllis be in charge of technology.
No,
that is today's takeaway.
It's not just you. None of us could figure out how to get everybody active, and they can't even talk. So I apologize. I promise that we will get that fixed. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen again real briefly because we are not meeting June or July. So when we come back in August, we'll be ready, full, administration. You'll be able to look, is your school registered? What are some hurdles? What really specifically can we help with this administration period? So we will not be meeting in June or July. You may get a Zoom link that says that you have a meeting coming up. It just depends. Technology. If we can stop the webinar and make sure that those don't get sent out to everybody. So that's happening. And then the last thing is I'm going to send everyone the link if you wouldn't mind completing the evaluation link for me. I don't think that this comes out in the email, but it may. So if you can take a few minutes to complete that link before we officially sign off, I would appreciate it. I think there's 3 or 4 questions. There's not too many that are on there. And as always, my email, I'm going to put it again because I think that it should be everywhere, but anybody can reach out to me directly. These come to me if there is a PACE question. They come directly to me and the EPIS page in case I'm off or on vacation or something. But you should get a response within a couple of days. We've had a lot come in recently. There's been a lot more, I feel like, than there was in the last administration now, since it's very earlier. And as Katie said, we have more schools registered at this point than we have had in the past at this point. So that bodes very well. That makes me feel good, and that people are engaged and they really do want to participate and they are using this data, and it's important. So I would like to thank
Just will say too, just to add, use your summertime to promote. And whether that is promoting to do it, promoting to ensure, 12th grade has good recruitment, or good, you're landing there, whether that means you're letting new community members know about whatever that looks like. But we want to encourage you because we're going to be here helping you during this time. And we want to hear from you. Questions, great things that you found that really work. Share with us. Let us hear about it. This is a time where I know everybody, especially dealing with schools, you're going, oh, summer can't get here fast enough. But the reality is we still have work to do during that time. So please, again, ask us questions, send us great news, and promote. That's your summer challenge.
There's your call to action. So thank you everybody for joining us. And I hope that everybody has a great end of the school year and wrapping up into summer. Hopefully everybody has a vacation planned, at least one day to do nothing or whatever fills your soul. Make sure it gets done. Keep us going. So I appreciate everybody and thank you very much. I'm here. Please complete the evaluation if you can, and we will talk to you all in August. Thank you very much.
Happy summer.
Bye. Thank you.